are we headed?
Itaewon.
What happens in Itaewon?
I don't know.
You don't know. We're gonna go to find out. Yeah, the metro. Itaewon is a district. I went there for a little bit yesterday, but it was all dark, so we're gonna go and explore that today while there's still light out. Yeah, we'll see what happens. There's a lot of Western restaurants and good shopping and pedestrian streets, which I'm missing a lot from my own country, so that's what's gonna happen. Dear Kenzie, this was the first week of school, and I came to learn that my professors were from all over the world. Turkey, Brazil, the United States, Korea, and even Portugal. I continue to feel an immense level of gratitude for being able to travel and learn as much as I do. A highlight was definitely when my roommate Colin and I went to Itaewon, but then accidentally discovered the War Memorial of Korea, at which an impressive display of artillery models and retired vehicles was open for public spectating. Colin noted that most of the vehicles on display would be completely irrelevant in the type of warfare that would take place if the war of the early 1950s were to happen today. In your last video, you asked me whether I had felt the tremors of North Korea's latest test, and while I didn't feel the physical impact, I couldn't help absorbing some of its psychological effects. I immediately opened the most reliable news site that I had available and let their breaking news live stream fill my room. My visit to the memorial helped me process this moment by reminding me of how today national borders matter progressively less to international aid and peacekeeping. Even during the Korean War, Denmark sent no troops but instead determined that the best way for them to contribute was by sending the only hospital ship during the war, called Jutlandia. A single ship ended up treating 4,981 severely wounded soldiers from 24 allied countries, as well as some 6,000 registered Korean civilians besides an estimated 12,000 other civilian cases. Without forgetting the courage of the involved troops from many other countries, it is important not to forget the selflessness, bravery, and humanitarianism that may be provided even by humans from the other side of the planet. We can't forget how far we've come as an international community. Of course, that notion of progress is challenged these days. Nevertheless, I choose to remain optimistic and hopeful. This looks delicious.
I think it's bread with honey and almonds, and that's it.
Bread with honey and almonds.
Yeah.
As arrogant as it may sound, my international friends and I sometimes come to talk about how odd it is that baristas in South Korean coffee shops don't speak more English, when most of the signage around the counter appear in English. Then, just recently, I learned that many jobs exactly like baristas can sometimes be occupied by North Korean defectors because of their relatively minimal requirements for any IT training or English practice. Realizing my ignorance in this matter suddenly put my experiences in a radically different light. Anywhere these defectors go, they can feel discrimination or exclusion. I was reminded that even today, living with pocket-sized computers, free access to information, and the availability of foreign language classes is seen as a privilege by many. This type of inequality is not new to me, but seeing it and having it influence my interactions with others around me is an entirely different way of understanding such issues. I learned that one of my professors is working very hard on setting up a day for us to go meet a defector. I get shivers all over. Not in my wildest dreams would I have imagined that such an opportunity would present itself to me. Of course, nothing is certain yet, but at the same time, the idea of emphasizing the intimate challenges of individuals in the context of macroscopic international processes is very important to where I hope to be headed in the future. I just hope that I leave the meeting feeling enriched and aware of how I can make a difference to other defectors or refugees that I encounter throughout my life. With my dear friends Emmeline and Anna, I later went to Gyeongbokgung Palace. Built in 1395, the palace appears as a true time capsule in the middle of an ever-evolving metropolitan. Most of the buildings had been burned down or in other ways destroyed since its initial completion, but in the 1980s it underwent a full-scale reconstruction back to its original state. There was no way I had time to explore the premises in their entirety, so I will definitely return to this marvel in the near future. Kenzie, this week has been filled with challenges that caused me to curse at myself and my surroundings. My accommodation lacks a kitchen, which has forced Colin and I to venture out into the night if we want something warm for dinner. One day, an attempt at finding someplace new to eat led us on a 2-hour detour before finding food. Another challenge has been the careless and aggressive car culture, and particularly the taxis, that has me running and jumping for my life on the way to school. But then I'm reminded of the strangeness and novelty of my situation. Why would I think it'd be easy not only to leave my home in Denmark, fly to the United States, stay there for 2.5 months, but then additionally and directly go live in Seoul for 4 months? Meeting my challenges was what I wanted for myself this semester. I just need to be reminded of that. This is a video, not a picture. Where are we at, guys?
I was like, damn, Magna. Some city I don't know how to pronounce.
Which district are we in, Anna?
We are in Hangdae.
Hangdae. In
yeah.
Hangdae.
It seems great.
A brewery that does pizzas and cheese for snacks, and they pair that with different types of beer. I myself have gotten a porter. Anna here has gotten a...
Don't remember the name? Oh,
Okay, all right.
I don't remember because I was. Okay, it's not written. It's in Korean, so.
Perfect. Oh, and here we have the fourth guest. All right, our beers have arrived. This is yours. What have you got? What have you gotten, Emma? A Kölsch thing.
What's the name of my beer?
It's a golden ale. It's a golden ale.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Is that That's like a type.
And you got what? An IPA. Cheers, guys.
One, 2, 3.
I have no idea what's going on.
Is this the video?
Whoa.
Cheers.
Like, should we cheer again?
In search of our hotel's laundry machine, which was rumored to be on the 15th floor, Colin and I stumbled upon our rooftop access. From its heights, I was watching my new home, pulsing away like an unstoppable and weirdly luminescent clockwork of unfathomable scale. We're in very different places in the world, my dear. You're spending half a year submerged in Romance languages, Mediterranean cuisine, and Gothic, Baroque, and Romanesque architecture. I, on the other hand, am spending half a year among sky-high glass and steel towers with a K-pop background track. While our places in the world might stand in stark contrast, our paths still run impressively parallel to one another. Our exchanges occur at the same time, and our degrees will conclude simultaneously as well. To my great joy, this means that we can still plan vacations together. More importantly, it makes the act of sharing our respective lives with one another relatable, yet exciting and enthralling. As always, thank you for letting me be yours, Daniel.